All right, we're live. Welcome everybody to another episode of Behind the Cards. I'm here with Jake, the commish from Legends Ever Die. Welcome to the show, Jake.
Thanks, Theo. I finally got the call, man. I've made it.
Called your bat phone. You were ready to go.
Yes, rock and roll, man. Saw the signal.
Cool. I love the Braves hat, man. I'm not a Braves fan, but it's cool.
other than some guy we won't mention with a certain slide, we'll get along fine.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, how many losing seasons did we have after that? I don't even want to talk about it. All right, so I've been doing an icebreaker first. My icebreaker today for you, because you're like the autograph guy, obviously behind you, a bunch of autographs. So have you ever looked at the top 20 autographs on the PSA website?
No.
Okay, this will be good then. Here's what I got. I took the top 10 out of the 20, the top 10, and this is just like school. If you get an 8, you got 80%. Let's see what grade you get. So I got the 10 top autographs on the PSA website, and it's based off of 3 categories. They combined it: popularity, historical significance, and value is how they made this list. So
okay.
All right. So you get 10 guesses, and I'll let you know if as you go, I'll let you know what you get right.
These are the top 10 baseball autographs, right?
They're all baseball, correct?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mess you up with another sport. You're good.
All right. We'll start with Babe Ruth.
He's number 1 on the list. You got to a good start.
All right. Let's go with Mickey Mantle.
He's number 2 on the list.
Okay. Let's go with Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb is number 5 on the list, so you're still good.
Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron is not on the list.
Man, I was doing good there.
Yeah, you were.
Okay, so I'm 3 for 4.
Yep.
But Aaron's not on the list. I'll still say Mays.
Willie Mays?
Yeah.
He's not on the list.
Okay. He's in kind of the same category as Hank.
Yeah, maybe because they've signed a lot. Maybe that's why it's a little bit easier to get.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I guess I'll not nitpick this list until I know it. Continuing. Gehrig?
Yes, Lou Gehrig is number 3.
Okay.
So
is
I'm guessing that's a scarce autograph, correct?
Yeah, that's a more scarce one, with him dying early with the, Lou Gehrig's disease and all that.
Okay.
And he wasn't prolific signer like Ruth.
Right.
Okay. So this is kind of the way we're going.
Yeah.
Let's say Walter Johnson.
Walter Johnson's number 10. So you just got that one in.
There all right. So we're 5 for 7.
Yep.
Cy Young then.
No, he's not on the list. I mean, he's not on the top 10.
Okay. He's a little tougher than Johnson and, popularity, depending on who you talk to, I guess.
Yeah.
So 5 for 8. I get 2 more guesses, right?
Yes, 2 more guesses.
Okay.
So you could still salvage a C.
Jackie Robinson.
Yep. I was hoping you would get him. He's number 4, actually.
Okay.
And if you don't get number 6, I'm gonna be so mad.
That's who I was already thinking in my head. I think you would be really upset if I didn't name this guy. I might get some hate mail from John Mangini, Don's Field of Dreams cards, Roberto Clemente.
Yes. And I just texted you about him the other day. All right. Do you want to? So you got a C. You got a 70%. Did you have somebody else that you want to spit out real quick before I tell you?
Sure. We'll just throw some names out there. Let's go. Honus Wagner.
Not on here.
Oh man. Okay. No Wags. Ted Williams.
Not on here.
Okay. And just shot in the dark, but this is more scarcity than popularity, I guess. But Shoeless Joe Jackson.
No.
Okay.
So
What do you got?
number seven, Sandy Koufax.
Okay.
Is his autograph really scarce? Because he's still alive, right?
No, it's not scarce at all.
Yeah.
It's for a more modern autograph, it's still fairly valuable, comparable to how often he signs. I think that's more about how popular he is.
Yeah. Being a Dodger and everything.
Mm-hmm. And
Number eight, I personally don't think you would guess it if we were here, give you 100 guesses, but you could tell me if I'm wrong. Number eight, they put Derek Jeter. This is PSA. I mean, it's not like I went to some website and.
Well, when you said, "Do you check the PSA site?" If I would have said yes, people would have been like, "He's been lying in all his videos." I don't do that stuff, but that's surprising.
Yeah, and
that's a popularity thing. That's a popularity thing.
Number 9 is Jimmy Fox.
Okay, see, that more aligns with the other ones.
Okay, do you have Jimmy Fox's autograph?
I don't have him yet.
Okay, well, how many of the top 10 do you have? You don't have to show it off or anything like that, but I know you have Babe Ruth, you have Mickey Mantle, you don't have Lou Gehrig, right? Or do you do?
I don't have Gehrig.
Okay, you have Jackie Robinson.
No.
Okay, Ty Cobb.
Yes.
Okay, that's 3. You don't have Clemente. You told me you have Koufax. No,
I have multiple Koufaxes. Yes.
Okay, you got.
I do.
You have a Jeter.
Yes.
5. You have a Fox.
No.
Okay, and you have a Walter Johnson.
No.
I figured that was a hard one. Okay, so you have 5 of the 10. So, all right. Well, that's cool. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too painful there. So,
oh man, that was fun.
Well, let's get into you a little bit. A couple of years ago, your channel was, you were the Ticket Leprechaun. Mm-hmm. So why don't you kind of explain, why your channel was called Ticket Leprechaun and kind of, how you changed the name and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I worked professionally in baseball as a part of 3 different front offices for 7 years. The Gastonia Grizzlies that no longer exist.
Oh, wow.
And the Savannah Bananas and the Kannapolis Cannonballers. Ticket Leprechaun, without making this a super long story, to make myself more approachable, more of a character as opposed to a used car salesman, we created the Ticket Leprechaun, which was Jesse Cole's idea. He's the owner of the Savannah Bananas.
Okay.
He was the owner of the Gastonia Grizzlies as well. So, when I went to build relationships with people, sell them tickets, make appearances, be a part of the show, all that stuff. When we were trying to come up with a character, he said, "Hey man, don't take offense to this, but you kind of look like a leprechaun. What do you think?" And I loved it, and I ran with it, and it became a really big part of my life. I'm not a big fan of doing things halfway. I'm either 0% in or I'm 200% in.
Yeah.
My personal vehicle was decked out in shamrocks gold, like a full wrap job. Like I drove it around every day.
Wow.
When I would go out in town to pick us up lunch or like run an errand or whatever during the day, I would go dressed up in the full leprechaun outfit. Because
how many Lucky Charms jokes did you get?
All kinds, man. All the time. Where are the Lucky Charms? Where's the gold? I want to know where the gold's at. All that stuff. But it did exactly what it was supposed to. It made me approachable. It made people smile. Yeah. And without fail, people ask me, "Why are you dressed like a leprechaun?" And I got to say, "Well, let me tell you about the Gastonia Grizzlies."
Yeah.
I then went to work with the Cannonballers. And then I retired with the Savannah Bananas. I helped launch that team. I was a part of Fans First Entertainment that owned both teams. And when I knew I was getting out of baseball and into ministry, I called Jesse and said, "Hey man, like, a lot of professional players, I want to retire with the team that meant the most to me." So I went down to Savannah for one last game. I signed a 1-day contract. It's in their Hall of Fame on the wall, and had my last day in baseball. So my channel name was Ticket Leprechaun because that's who I was, man.
Yeah.
And when I got out and retired, I said, "Well, that's still part of my story, but it's not indicative of who I am now." So I wanted to change the name and something that was indicative of me and what I collect.
That's really cool. I Actually, my brother-in-law went to school with a guy who plays on the Savannah Bananas. Unfortunately, I don't remember what his name was, but he's always showing me videos of them doing bat flips and tricks. And I know they've actually got a lot of publicity nationwide now with all the stuff they're up to. So that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, so how many Leprechaun outfits did you own?
3. Yep,
That's
3.
cool. The first time I heard the name from Dave actually was I was thinking to myself, oh, he must like scalp tickets like down at down the game somewhere. Like I didn't like that's what I first thought of. So it was kind of funny. So did you play any sports growing up?
Yeah, baseball, basketball.
Okay, what positions did you play in each sport?
Baseball, I actually gave it up in middle school to focus on basketball, believe it or not. I was a high school basketball player, which is surprising considering I'm 5'6". But in baseball, I was mainly an outfielder. That's my position now in slow pitch softball. Basketball is point guard, not a center. I know that's what you were thinking, Theo.
Well, you came out with a video where it was to get on the Misfits, and I forget the exact reason, but you were mad at the Misfits and you had a dunk in the video. Was that staged, or can you literally dunk the ball?
So the goal may not have been set on 10 foot at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it was to scale, and James is very short, and the goal wasn't that much higher than him. So that tells you all you need to know on how.
I was gonna say it's 5'6". It's kind of hard to dunk, but I thought maybe you were Muncie Bogues or something.
I can still grab the rim,
Okay,
10 foot, but I can't dunk.
All right, that's cool, man. So what made you get into the autograph space? Maybe what was your first autograph and where did you catch the bug from? Because it's I guess my most exciting part about talking to you is I haven't talked to somebody who's so into autographs yet. And I've just got into the hobby a couple years ago, and everybody I talked to is more on the card side of the space. So what made you start doing autographs and kind of started that off?
Sure. So I guess, man, I hate saying what my first autograph was. I'm a big Tar Heel fan,
Yeah.
and I was actually a basketball only collector first.
Oh,
A
wow.
long time ago when I was a little kid,
Wow.
because of my love for Tar Heel basketball. And my first autograph, I pulled it out of a pack. I still have it as much as I hate it. It's a Shane Battier autograph.
Oh, Duke.
Duke. It's terrible. But I went from collecting basketball, mainly my Tar Heels, to in 2010-11, I had been, opening packs, ripping boxes, all that stuff. For context, at the time I was 19, and Upper Deck, North Carolina came out as a set. And I said, okay, this is the first time I've ever done this. I'm going to sell off all the stuff I don't really want, and I'm going to put together that autograph set. And so I did that, except for the Ty Lawson, which is a super duper short print. It's worth a couple grand.
Wow.
Less than 5 are known to exist. I don't have one. But I put together that set. And right after that, I had always been a baseball fan. I loved the Braves and all of that. And I guess after building that set, I really got into the history of baseball. That's what I really love about it. And I started doing some research of my own. I built my own Hall of Fame spreadsheet without looking up any statistics. I said, okay, what would I do as an automatic qualifier for a milestone that I think they should be in? What's a secondary level for that? And maybe another one for 2 qualifiers to get them in. And after I built that spreadsheet, to me, I had a better idea of who the greatest were, even amongst the Hall of Famers. And I decided to go after the 500 home run club and the 3,000 hit club first for autographs. And for at the time, the ones that I couldn't afford their autograph, I would get a relic card.
Okay.
And that then opened the door to, all right, now I'm going to do the 300 wins. Now I'm going to do 3,000 Ks. These guys it's littered with Hall of Famers. And after doing those, I said, I already have a lot of the greatest names. Let's open it to the whole Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
And that's kind of how I got rolling on autographs. all because I think it's the way you can get closest to the players without ever actually meeting them.
Right.
For the on-card stuff, they touched that. They signed that. Something about a signature is just, it's personal. And I like that aspect of it.
Yeah. So just you probably know because you have all these spreadsheets, but a rough estimate of how many signed baseballs do you have right now?
It's like 136, and I have like 68 Hall of Famers.
Wow. That's it. That's impressive. I know the first time you put up the big unit, which is the display case behind you, there was a lot of empty holes, and I could see that they really filled up. So, do you have much room left on that thing?
Yeah, the back part's about full. The doors themselves have spots, and they're still open.
Nice.
Let's see. I have 129 different baseballs. I was pretty close, and 69 Hall of Fame baseballs.
Wow. So, like how often do you get autographs through TTM?
So until last year, never.
Wow.
Because I've always been big on pack pulled autographs. Just for authenticity's sake, I like the way they looked in addition to that. It was just kind of the whole package. I've started getting more TTM for two reasons. The Perez Steel Customs, which if you watch my channel at all, I talk about them a lot. They are the Dick Perez artwork with customs we have had made for the guys that didn't actually have postcards that were released by Perez Steel Galleries, and what I call Luca's letters, personalized letters for my son that I'm trying to get autographed by Hall of Famers or other major star players, award winners, that kind of thing. So that's been a lot of fun. It's been a different part of my PC.
That's really cool. You come up with some of the coolest ideas, and then it turns into cool videos, obviously. But like some of the ideas you come up with are just so original. So I think that's really cool. I guess my other question to you is, not being somebody ever into autographs, do you always ensure that you get a some type of certification when you buy one, just to make sure, or do you take risks sometimes?
I would say 95% of the time I buy it with third-party authentication from one of the five major ones. If for no other reason, not just, the assurance that it's real within a reasonable doubt. I mean, you never really know unless you see them sign it yourself, right?
Right.
With 100%.
Right.
But I try to do that. That other 5%, I do make some exceptions. If it's from a dealer that I really, really trust, and or I have sign off from Frank, Baseball Hall of Fame Autographs, and Bill, the Hall of Fame collector. I have them check it out, and my own eyes from our reference book, then sometimes I'll make an exception, but rarely.
Okay. How do you find good deals on autographs? What's your, I guess, best method to find reasonably priced autographs?
Sure. So I think the number one thing with that is research. Put a lot of time into a lot of spreadsheets on educating myself on what the price ranges should be on all these different items. They're sourced from eBay mainly over time. But I have a one-stop shop where I don't have to type anything else in. I just pull out my phone and open the spreadsheet. That's the number one thing. The number two thing, it also speaks to like my general approach of how I buy things. My want list is 20 something thousand items. And I let the deals come to me, man. I think that's how I find good deals on autographs. Because my want list is so big, if it's on there and it's a good deal, that's when I buy it.
Nice. I guess I'm very similar when I buy Clemente stuff. Like, I don't ever try to rush to buy anything in particular. I guess the hard part comes for me whenever I know it's a good deal, but it's a high ticket item, and just pulling the trigger on something. You know what I mean? Especially, depending on how much I already bought that week or month or whatever. So that can be tricky sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
That's cool. So I think I saw your preference when a ball gets signed is really just to get the player's signature for the most part. Is that really best case scenario what you're looking for, or do you actually like to see unique stuff sometimes?
So I view inscriptions as they're really cool, but I don't want to pay extra money for them.
No, okay.
Because in the old days, really before I could do it myself, I wasn't old enough to do it. A lot of guys would do inscriptions for free. They put whatever you wanted on there, which had to be awesome. If I could do that now, every one of these baseballs would have those players' nicknames on them. That would be sick. But that's why, I'm really just looking for the signature on the sweet spot. If I'm able to get like a nickname or, a 95 World Series Braves inscription, that's a bonus to me.
Okay. Nice. So, I saw your video where you got to meet Chipper Jones, and I'm pretty sure that was kind of your, growing up, that was probably your favorite player and your favorite guy you've got to meet in person, I'm assuming. But I guess for me personally, just jumping in now and seeing some of the prices that some of these guys, now granted, they work for companies. It's not Chipper Jones making the prices. It's the company he's on. I get that. But I see some of the prices for some of the guys coming to the National and stuff like that. And I'm like, I would never pay this much, like literally for pretty much anybody. So what's your opinion on the cost that it is now to get signatures or pictures with these guys at shows? What do you think about it?
I was 100% in your camp on until I went to Chipper's induction in Cooperstown. I said, all right, I'm going to get one or two because I'm here. I got the money, whatever. Let's try it. My buddy was doing it. We'll feel it out. That's all it took, man. I was hooked. Because price-wise, secondary market, just buy it on eBay. It's cheaper, right? That was always my approach of like, why would I pay $125 to have Ricky Henderson sign this ball? I gotta pay for the signature. I gotta buy the ball. I gotta pay for the authentication. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I could just get one on eBay now for $80. But for me, not just the experience of meeting them and shaking their hand, but being able to capture that moment on video and then put it on YouTube. And I have that, that wasn't an additional cost. That, to me, that's part of what I paid for. And that's valuable to me. I like that. And I can, tell Luca someday, hey, I met Ricky Henderson, and he's like, oh yeah, whatever. And I'm like, no, look here. Like, watch this video. This is me talking to Ricky Henderson. I see value in that.
Have you had any starstruck moments where you didn't, you kind of froze up and you had a plan on what to say to a player and you didn't say what you wanted to, or you're pretty calm under the pressure, I guess?
So I am rarely at a loss for words.
Yeah.
Public speaking and communicating with people and that kind of stuff has always been a part of my life and my job. But the very first one that I met, I just didn't know what to say, really. At first, it was Pete Rose. Pete Rose was my first one that I ever interacted with.
Nice.
And, all I could think of at first was like, I'm just going to say, hey, Mr. Rose, will you sign this baseball? Thank you. Like, what else are you supposed to say? Luckily, he said, hey, you here for the Braves? You Braves fan? Yes, sir. You Chipper fan? Yes, absolutely. And once he said that, that's all I needed. My response was, I was actually in a game for Cincinnati last month. And he's like, when? And I told him the date. And he said, that was Reds Hall of Fame weekend. I was there. Why didn't you say hey? And I laughed and was like, next time, Mr. Rose, next time. And he's like, all right, next time. And I said, well, can I take a picture with you? He's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. And I told him thank you. And after that, I was conversational with all the other guys I met.
That's awesome. I saw that video. That was really cool. He was like in like some type of sports shop or something.
Mm-hmm. That was at Cooperstown.
Yeah. That was cool. And not that it matters to you, but I think he was number 20 on the PSA list of autographs. So there you go.
All right,
you got another one off the list. So you made, I think you made the jump onto YouTube 4 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, around there. What made you get on here? Like, what was there a catalyst?
I guess this will kind of be a segue too. This.
Oh, the first video.
This was my first video, and this was why. My original thought was
Let's.
I need to.
I got you solo. Okay.
All right. So that's my Babe Ruth Perez steel cut auto, and my thought was when I got it was I need to video this to make sure this sucker's in here.
Hey, we got to get it a close. We got to get it on a close up. Can you put it? Can you put the signature up close? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I saw the video. It was like I want to say you had the video. Vertical,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like the friend was like pretty far away from you, and I was just like, this is like classic first video for somebody. Like you don't know what angle to shoot it at. You don't really. You're just like, all right, well, here we go.
When that video, man, I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was like, I need proof in case this thing is not in here because I'm getting that money back.
Oh yeah. So what's, since you're talking about it, what is the story? Was it just an eBay purchase, or is there a story behind that particular cut auto card?
Yeah, sure. So my favorite movie, we'll get into this later, all time is The Sandlot. And
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth, man. He's kind of a big part of that movie if you haven't seen it. Spoiler. But I always thought as a kid, like baseball item, I said, man, if I could have a Ruth autograph, like that's the grail, right?
Yeah.
Basketball, it was a Michael Jordan rookie, but for baseball, it was, a Ruth autograph. And at that time, I was dating my wife, and I knew that I was going to propose. And I was like, once I get married, responsibilities are going to change. There's somebody more than just me to worry about. Going to have a wife, going to have kids someday, I hope, and, a house and a mortgage and all that. And I said, self, if you're ever going to get a Ruth autograph, this might be it. And so I made a deal with myself. As I started thinking about this, I said, all right, if I can buy one, I won't buy anything else for my collection until I pay off the Ruth, I pay off the ring, the wedding, and the honeymoon. I won't spend another dime on my collection. Like 2 weeks later, this pops up on eBay on an auction. And I don't mind telling anybody, but I won it for $3,100.
Oh, wow.
And we did get engaged that fall, a couple months later. And when the wedding happened the following May, thankfully her parents took care of the wedding. Appreciate you guys. And I paid off the Ruth, the honeymoon, and the ring by the wedding. So then I got to collect again.
So I'm assuming you did a lot of research. Was at that time? Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I just getting a drink.
Oh yeah, you're good, man. At that time, was 3,100 well below what it should have went for that particular item, or was that pretty much market? Or
I was probably a little below. I believe they're going more around 4 at the time.
Okay.
So 3,500 to 4. So I was thrilled.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's awesome.
Now that's an 8-10 grand item. I couldn't buy it now.
Yeah. So did you ever? I'm guessing not, but did the person ever tell you the backstory on where that auto got cut off of? No, I didn't think so. So talking about cut autographs, you've been doing a series on your channel where you get caught, you find the autograph, you cut it yourself, you use that purple glue.
Yep.
And you put the auto on, and everybody cringes. And so was the Ruth the catalyst to continuing to do cut autos on Perez steel cards, or was this just something like just started happening? You saw a couple more and you liked it, or what kind of started your like for that, I guess?
Yeah. So when I got the Ruth, I think at that time I had 1 or 2 on-card Perez steel autographs, but that was it. I just had a couple, and I was doing the 500 home run club and 3,000 hit club autographs still. And when I opened it up to Hall of Fame as a whole, I was looking at like, okay, what are my preference on, what sets do I like? What cards do I want to try and get mostly? And thinking through that, I'm like, there's no really one set that has every Hall of Famer, right? Especially for pack pulled autos.
Right.
And my Ruth was a cut, and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna kind of have to do the Frankenstein thing where some are from 5-star, some are from tier 1. Maybe I got a couple Perez steals and all that. And the more I got to thinking about it, I'm like, wait, the Perez steals have almost every Hall of Famer or close to it that I could either do on card or a cut.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of uniform, right?
Right.
And that's when I decided to collect all those and add those to my want list. And that's also how the Perez Steel Customs have came about, completing that process to where I can get them all in theory.
Right. Do you see? My problem is I'm very like now I'm getting like I get more nostalgic about some of this stuff. Do you ever sit there and look at an item that has an autograph and kind of like let's just say a bank check or a contract or something, and you go, man, this is like a piece of history. I'm about to cut. Do you ever sit there and go, maybe I shouldn't do this for this player, or does it not faze you at all?
Perfect story. Perfect question, Theo. So, especially my friends Frank and Bill, if they watch this, they dog me about cutting stuff, and I admire those guys' collections. I value their opinions a lot.
Yeah.
And they knew going into this year's national that I was looking for a Ty Cobb. And to that point, I'd cut some autographs and that kind of thing. Now, I'd cut 99% of what I cut were plain index cards. Okay, so
yeah,
they're plain index cards. There's nothing really special to them.
No.
I cut one government postcard of Lloyd Wayner that Bill sent me, and he almost never spoke to me again. But they were really big on like, man, you can't cut that. So we go to the national. I'm looking for a Cobb. Turns out the cheapest Cobb I can find, not an index card, not anything that I would normally look for, was a check. And I had every intention of cutting the check.
It was in a PSA slab, right?
It was JSA authenticated with a letter.
Okay. All right.
I had every intention to cut it. And the more I looked at it, and the more I thought about it, and the more they ragged me, because I don't like to be influenced by other people with my collection. Right. But I have to admit they did. I couldn't do it. I see it as a historic document, and
here, let me get you in solo.
It's
if I can. There we go.
All in one piece.
Wow. How much money is that for? It's hard to make.
$58.50.
Oh my gosh. And does it have the date on it?
Yeah, so the date is December 17th, 1931.
Wow.
So I mean this check is almost 100 years old.
Wow.
I just couldn't cut it, man. And I think it was like Christmas to Frank. He's like, "You're all right, kid."
Hey, but, you got the Perez Steel next to it. I don't think anybody's gonna fault you.
Me being my crazy self now, I feel like I got to get another Cobb on an index card so I can cut it and do that. But
yeah,
that's cool. So I won't cut government postcards. I won't cut contracts. I won't cut checks. Index cards, watch out.
Oh, that's fair. So what's your family think about you being on YouTube?
Yeah, so my brother's actually on YouTube. He's not a sports card channel. So he gets it. My parents have watched a lot of my videos. Amy has known about it from the beginning. I mean, they're cool with it. They see it as a hobby. There are much worse things I could do than collect this stuff and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
My wife's biggest thing was, look, if you're going to spend all the time to do this and, take away from other things, then you need to use it as a witness for the Lord. And I said, fair enough. You got a good point. So that's why I like to use my opener of, legends never die, neither will you if you know Jesus, and share Bible verses and my faith. I mean, I wear it on my sleeve. I'm in ministry, for heaven's sake. But that was something I took to heart from her.
Yeah, that's cool. I met the Lord through my wife, and my father-in-law is a pastor of a church, and she's the secretary, and we're very involved. I'm involved with the kids ministry, and I love it, and I think it's so cool that you talk about it on your channel. So thank you for doing that.
That's awesome, man. You're my brother in more than one way. That's great to know, man. I'm happy.
Yeah, that's really cool. So let's see here. What are your favorite types of videos to make?
I mean, mail days are always fun because it's exciting. You're getting something new and all that.
Yeah.
But I really like to do the ones where I've completed, I guess, a small segment of my PC. So, like, for example, if I, now have all of the 1995 World Series Braves autographed baseballs, their starting lineup, I get to show them off all like, hey, this is complete. I've accomplished this, and it gives me accomplishment, and showing them off all together is really cool.
Yeah.
So I like stuff like that, kind of milestone moments, if you will, for your PC.
That's cool. I noticed, and maybe I'm wrong in this, but a lot of your videos are kind of shorter than some people's videos. Do you purposely try to just get your point across, and people don't have a lot of time, or what's your strategy, I guess, with the length of your videos?
Yeah, most of my videos are shorter. That probably comes some from like the marketing part of my background of I don't want to drone on and on every single video. Because I want people to perceive it as, wow, Jake made a long video, I should probably watch it. As opposed to, here's another 20-minute from Jake, I ain't watching that,
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I've been trying to pepper in more like 5-minute or less videos here and there, and try to, not, like you said, not go on and on about something. So if I have a long video, people know I have something to say, maybe. So I think it's a good point. I think that's fair. So another question I had for you is talking about your autograph balls. I gave you a pre-warning about this question. So do you have a ball or two that you would like to show, and maybe you had some stories behind them, or maybe you got a great deal on them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the first one I got to show off, it's not my most valuable baseball or anything like that, but it is one of my favorites. You mentioned inscriptions, and, do I see that as something I go after or not? This is probably the only instance that I specifically went after it. I'm a Braves fan, which I actually don't talk about that much, but I am. In the 50s, they had a saying for their pitching staff. It was for Warren Spahn, was the Hall of Fame great, and the other really good pitcher they had was Johnny Sain. You've probably heard of the saying. You probably know where I'm going with this. But it was Spahn and Sain and pray for the rain, because the rest of the staff sucked. But I have this baseball that is autographed by, I'm trying to find where I can get the glare out.
Yeah.
Warren Spahn and Johnny Sain, and Johnny Sain inscribed it, pray for rain.
That's sick.
I love that baseball. I love it. It's
That's
just
awesome.
really unique. So I enjoy that one a lot. And I'll highlight a couple different things as I pull these off here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another random thing I like to do with my baseballs, I like to get UNC basketball players to sign baseballs. It's just a thing. This is my all-time favorite Tar Heel player, Kendall Marshall. I played with him at UNC basketball camp. He was on my team.
Oh, nice.
And he's a pass first point guard. He would have broke every assist record Carolina had if he stayed one more year. Not even all four, just one more. There's that. Let's see. Then I've got stuff, some of the bigger name guys. I mean, I've got, there's Ted Williams.
Wow. That's awesome.
I've got Chipper, I've got Griffey, I've got Mantle, I've got Koufax. Got a lot of autographed baseballs.
Yeah. That's cool. That is cool. So we talked about The Sandlot being your favorite movie, and you have a series where you try to collect signed balls from the cast, and it's awesome. If nobody's seen it, please go to Jake's channel and check out some of those videos. But first off, one thing that really cracked me up about the show was like I think it was around December or so. Jake sent a ball to the mother on Sandlot, and she couldn't figure out how to open the case. So she signed the case and sent it back to him and said, "I couldn't open this." So Jake made the decision to send it back to her again with an easier way to open it, and he did get her signature on the ball, but that was hilarious.
That was one of the last couple ones I needed, and it was one of the new holders, like the brand new ones. And I didn't even try and open it myself. I just, sent the ball in it because it's already in there. And when I got that back and read her letter, I tried to open it myself, and I was like, good grief, this thing is hard to open. Like, I see why she couldn't get it. She signed the case. I still have it. Thankfully, because I was like, oh my gosh, if I can't get a ball signed now and I miss my chance, I'm be so upset. But she signed a ball for me after that, and I keep it in the case that she signed. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That was funny. What are some Grail Sandlot items that you're still trying to on your list right now?
So I do got to show off one because I grabbed it when you were talking.
Yeah.
If anybody knows anything about Sandlot Autographs, Mike Vitar, who played Benny, he doesn't sign. Dude's recluse. Like, he just doesn't. There's a story behind it, but he doesn't sign for any of the anniversaries, whatever. Autographed baseballs from him, I have seen now 4 ever, but I do own one of them.
No pun intended. Forever.
Oh, yes. Yes, my man.
That's cool.
This is one of the 4 that I know to exist, but it is the only one I've ever seen inscribed Benny the Jet.
Wow. That's disgusting. That's awesome.
So that was one of the Grail items.
Yeah.
Now that I have it, the only cast member that I don't have an autographed baseball for is Dennis Leary, who played Bill, the stepdad. That's a Grail item I want. And then the famous picture of, all the kids in a line that's in the movie, in the press box. I would like that signed by all the cast, including Benny, which to my knowledge, 0 exists.
Wow.
And then I would like to have a team signed ball with Benny, which means I would have to buy another Benny ball and then get it signed by everybody else. There's one on eBay, but the guy won't budge. It's like triple the price what I paid for this one. So,
yeah, that's rough to have to get another one and then try to send TTM everybody else.
Labor love.
Yeah. Whenever you're successful, you'll know all the work you did. Are there any original movie posters out there with signatures? That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, so I've seen them. There's one that exists with Benny, but there are several others, with the other cast guys. And there's other ones of that version of that picture that I'm talking about with everybody but him. So they're out there.
Oh, nice. So how big is the Sandlot collecting community? Is it pretty big, or do you kind of know who's out there and things like that?
So I think there are several people that just kind of casually like, oh, I like the Sandlot. I have, the archive base set. Or like, hey, I've got a couple of the Sandlot autographs from the archive set. But as far as like complete sets of it, the Karen Allen was a short print. So was the Ham, the Great Hambino. So they're out there. They're not impossible. They are fairly tough to complete it. But as far as like people that collect the Sandlot like me, I don't know of anybody else, man. I mean, yeah. I don't. I've got the stand up that was, in theaters.
Yeah, that's awesome. With the bat. That's really cool.
Yeah, with the bat that they gave away, I've got the script that was used on set. I talked to the director on the phone and confirmed with me that it was real. I've got the box that I showed off that went out to movie critics trying to get them to give reviews good of the Sandlot, really rare.
Yeah,
All the team balls, signed, but I don't know of anybody else that collects it the way that I do.
that's cool though. That's really cool. Yeah, I loved that video where you showed where the director got back to you. That was really cool. When you got that big stand up, did you have to drive somewhere? Like does it fold up to ship or what?
So it actually came in the original box that it would have shipped to the movie theaters in.
Oh,
Just the sound on it and everything.
wow.
From Fox Studios, whatever. It's really cool. But no, I bought it on eBay before the 10th anniversary. So before the Sandlot became like popular again.
Yeah.
That's when I bought it for $50, shipped everything.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. So the next thing I had for you was I wanted to give you a chance to shout out a YouTube channel that isn't maybe getting enough love for how good their content is. So you had a heads up on this one. What channel comes to mind with that question?
If I can only pick one, because there are several guys that I think I could name, I'm gonna have to go with Staven Scorecards. My good friend Dom. I call him a Hall of Fame type collector. That's because that's what he is. He collects different vintage issues, kind of like John Mangini, of Hall of Famers. He is a Red Sox fan and a Patriots fan, but he's 99% baseball. He shows a lot of good stuff. And he's I can still call him this even though I'm young. He's a young guy. Everybody says that.
Yeah.
That does vintage. So love to see that.
Well, that's a great shout out. I'm close to Dom. He was one of the actually first people that reached out to me over cell phone, and we started texting back and forth. And he was on a Behind the Card episode. I think it was my second or third episode. But yeah, he's such a great guy, and he's one of the guys that he knows what I'm looking for, and he'll send me a text if he sees one for a good deal, and kind of like see if I'm seeing it or not out there. So you gotta it's a great guy, and I know you're doing a never ending trade with him right now, which is really cool. So
yeah. Yeah, and I think the coolest things about Dom are the things that people don't necessarily see on his videos all the time. I mean, we text a lot, like all the time. He's how I heard about your channel because he was on your show here, and he's looking to make connections with people in the community. He's a genuine guy, and he's a free guy, and I think he's worth getting to know.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome. Great shout out. So we were going to end on 10 questions in a minute. Did you have anything for me, or did you think of anything along the way before I get to the last segment here?
I'm not going to be a question in this rapid fire where you strong arm me into putting you in the YouTube Hall of Fame right away, right?
I actually didn't have that on here, so you're
all right. Good. we dodged that. Then I'm good, man. I'm good.
Okay, you think you can get through 10 in a minute?
Yeah, I got this.
All right. I've only had a couple do it. All right, so I'm gonna read the first question, then start the timer up. All right, what Sandlot character most represents you as a child?
Squints.
Pick one: candy, ice cream, or pastries.
Ice cream.
Favorite MLB ballpark?
Truist.
Most overrated fast food restaurant?
Bojangles.
Dream vacation?
Every major league ballpark in the summer.
Favorite board game?
Oh, Monopoly.
Best top set of the 60s.
1967.
Best superhero and why?
The Flash. He's really, really fast. And you could hit the ball and run on the bases.
Favorite card in your collection?
Oh, that's the toughest one. Let's go with the Babe Ruth.
All right. To get in the Misfits, who would you kick out?
Don.
You did it. Yes.
Yes, I even got Donnie Livestream thrown under the bus. Can't beat that.
Wow. You had a little bit of time to spare. I knew you were going to say Dom, but I still wanted to ask it.
It's because I love him. I tease him. I love him.
I know. That's great. Oh, I love it. Nice. Man, I had a lot of fun here with you, man. I really appreciate you coming on, sharing some of your collection, sharing some of your stories. I really like this, first time talking to you kind of is on here. It's kind of cool. It's real. So I really appreciate you jumping on, man.
Yeah, man. It was a blast. I'm glad we're friends now, so I can destroy you in our fantasy baseball league.
Oh, yeah. Look out. But let me give a quick plug. Jake's channel. I don't know how you wouldn't be sub to it because he kind of forces you to for the baseball card Hall of Fame. But Jake's channel is amazing. He has some of the most creative content out there. And as I am not an autograph guy, it gives me an outlet to see what it's like to be an autograph guy and to see some of those autos. And I really appreciate it. And it's a lot of I get a lot of learning out of it too. So thank you, Jake, for everything you do and being the commission. I appreciate you coming on today, man.
Thanks, Theo. I appreciate, man. Those are a lot of kind words. Do you care if I close it out?
You close it out, buddy. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you guys for joining Clemente Collector and Legends Never Die, where neither will you if you know Jesus.
Amen.